class is recording, but I'll record this one too because we should be getting these right, and apparently we're not. Okay. First off, we gave you guys a quiz a week ago on this kind of stuff, and your quiz grades were good. And I know it's been a little while, and I know we had 2 snow days, but it seems that we have forgotten much of what it is that we're supposed to know how to do from this. That's not good. Okay, look, we're going to graph the 2 equations at the same time. I'm going to graph this one first. Now, whenever we graph a line, what's the first thing that pops into our mind? Go. Now, I look at this. The slope, m, is always what's in front of the x. What's in front of the x? 1. B is a number at the end. I wrote 1. It should be 0. I went through 0. I don't know why I wrote 1. I probably just went too fast. Now, I begin at 0. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Fill in the backside. And the red line connects the dot. Any problem with that one? Okay. I'm looking at Annabella's. Annabella's is perfect. Boom. Ah, I see what your problem is. Now we go to the next graph. And I think Annabella, are you a magician? Are you like the new Chris Angel? Diana knows who he is. Right? He's like this guy that does some really freaky looking magic tricks. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That's good.
What, you were on one of his shows? And did you see how he did it? You couldn't figure it out? Now, here's the thing, Annabella. You magically, it appears, here's the equation, ready? Y plus 3 equals negative 2x. It's almost like you went, woo, I'm going to put a plus 3 there. Like Chris Angel. He makes things fly through the air. You'd be like, ooh, I'm going to put the 3 there. I like it there. So my y-intercept is 3. Sister! With an equation, we always do inverses or opposites. We need to get the 3 on the other side. It's good that you recognize that. But what kind of 3 is this? Positive 3. I need to do the opposite, which is negative 3. Annabella, it's the same as this. Y plus 3 equals 5. What would your first step be?
Subtract 3.
Exactly. And you would get y equals 2, right? Subtract the 3. Same exact step. Nothing new there. Okay? Oh my God. I spent so long doing my hair this morning. You should have seen it. I was going to put it in a puff. But at the last minute, I decided not to. I got the curling iron out. And I was working it, putting the curls in. See?
What curls?
What do you mean, what curls?
Let me be quiet. Keep on what you're saying.
I think my curls look really good, don't you? Right?
Feels like you need a new curling iron.
Ah, I think this is looking really good. Especially curl this section right here. Okay. Now,
You have the bold curl style?
the bold curls. Yes, not the bald curls. The bold curls. If you get out your microscope, you'll find them. Maybe an electron
Microscope.
That's it. Now, the slope is always in front of x, so it's negative 2. The y-intercept is not positive 3. What's the y-intercept? So I begin here, down 2 over 1. Now, you know, I gave you a sheet today, and I told you guys to work on it for a little bit. The first question says, what's a negative slope? And I forgot to draw pictures, but you should know enough to say, hey, oh no, like the 6th question says that. A negative slope always goes down when you go left to right, right? We've drawn this diagram many times, positive slope, negative slope, 0 slope. Right, we've done that a lot. So you should recognize what a negative slope is. They meet at the point -1, -1, there it is. And then you have to come over here and, to Mr. Frank, do the check. Where you plug in the -1 for x and the -1 for y. Any questions about that at all? Now, we have your test on Tuesday, last test of the marking period, not gonna be a makeup test for it. Well, there is gonna be, but it can't count in the second marking period, it's gonna have to count in the third marking period. So, when you look at these questions, you gotta study ahead of time. You gotta be ready for this baby, there's no second chances. So, what I would suggest that you do is at some point this weekend, you go to the YouTube channel, you pop up this video, and just watch it again, right? Go through it, see what you can find. Are there any other questions about how to do this so that the coordinate answer is -1, -1, and so on and so forth? Any problems? Good, okay. Now,
I'm probably gonna be skiing down my street.
why would that happen?
I'm gonna borrow my dad's skis.
Yeah, but there's no snow in the streets anymore.
You might be wrong.
I could be, but I don't think I'm gonna be. I heard from, I was over Coach Friend's house the other day on Wednesday, and his wife told me that it was like 12 inches Monday, and they're just calling for like a little bit. So, who knows what's gonna happen. Well, Monday's a possibility for your little ski adventure there. Okay. So, the next one we had to do is a problem where the A's are on top of the A's, the B's are on top of the B's, the numbers are on top of the numbers, and whenever you see that, what automatically pops into your head?
One of them's not the constant.
Well, yeah, but there's the substitution technique and another technique. What technique do you use here, Michael? Elimination. Guys, what does that word eliminate mean? To get rid of. What I want you to realize, the connection that has to be made in your mind is this. I think on all of our videos, you hear this one seal in the background going,
I think she can't breathe.
that's it. So, when you see the A's on top of the A's, the B's on top of the B's, the equals on top of the equals, and the numbers on top of the numbers, when you see that, you have to be thinking elimination technique. And that means you have to pair up a set of numbers. Now, I don't care if you pair up the A's or the B's, it's irrelevant. But whichever one you pair up, they do have to have opposite signs. And what's a little tricky about this one, if you notice, all the A's are positive and all the B's are what? Negative. So, I choose to get rid of the B's. I could have chosen the A's. If it was the A's, you'd use 3 and 4. I'm gonna use the 4 and the 5. Remember, they both go into 20, so you could say 5 times 4 is 20, 4 times 5 is 20. But it's easy to remember also that if this is a 4, you can put a 4 here. And if this is a 5, you can put a 5 here. The only thing you have to remember is when the signs are the same, one of them has to be negative. It doesn't matter if it's the 4 or if it's the 5. Just any one of them. Okay? All right. Now, distributing the -4, I get -16a plus 20b is -52. And then 15a minus 20b is 50. And I just start working it. If these go die, and I get -a is -2 divided by -1, a is 2. And then rewrite either equation. I rewrote the second one. And by the way, on today's quiz, the elimination problem worked out that a was 33/14. And if you just did the first step, where you substitute it back in, I gave you full credit for the rest of it. But you had to show that step where you substituted it in. So then 3 times 2 minus 4b, and we come out with b is -1. So I get that a is 2, b is -1. And then just like before, ode to Mr. Frank, I do my check on the side. Okay? Is there any question about this one? To me, the only tricky part of this one was adding the negative sign in there. I don't think we had done that on a previous problem. Any others? Anything at all with this one that I can go over? Okay. Now we scroll forward to number 13. And as I take a good look at number 13, do they line up this time? Take a look, do they line up? No, since they don't line up, what technique do we go with? Substitution, very good. Now, I have seen on some people's quizzes a little bit of an issue here. This says 3x plus 2 and then y, but some people are putting the 3x minus 1 in for x. No. The y is equal to the 3x minus 1, so the 3x minus 1 has to go in for the y. See, I put it in for the y. Then you distribute the 2, add the 2 to both sides. See that step there, Annabella, right? You add the 2, divide by 9, x is 2. Substitute back in to get y is 5, and then the check. Okay? Any question on this guy? Anything we're not sure of? Okay. Once again, if you have any issues, watch the video when you get home. I do want to talk a little bit more about this last one, though. Oh. Now, the last one's a word problem. Now, this is owed to my brother-in-law, who loves to go to Dunkin' Donuts.
So is my dad. I see what you mean.
This will fit it a little bit better. Okay, so Harold, he goes to Dunkin' Donuts. Actually, he likes Starbucks more. Harold goes to Dunkin' Donuts, buys coffee and donuts. He buys 5 donuts and 2 coffees for $6.25. So look, ready? 5 donuts plus what?
2.
2 coffees is what? $6.25. I don't think that's hard. Now the next one's, go ahead.
I found tissues.
You found tissues? Oh, go ahead, go get them. Now, the next one is, it says, a donut is 50 cents less than a cup of coffee. So here it is, a donut right here there's a point there, it doesn't appear obvious, there was one here too. A donut is 50 cents less than a cup of coffee. Now, do they line up? No, they don't. So what technique are you gonna use? Substitution. So instead of my D, I put C minus 0.5, and here it is, 5 times C minus 0.5 plus 2C equals 6.25. Everything stays the same. Look, the 5 stays the same, the 2 stays the same. 2C. The equals in the 625. The only thing that changes is the D becomes the C minus 0.5. And then it's just, look, just distribute. Same side, that's 7 C's right here. Add the 2.5 to both sides. I get 7C is 875. I divide by 7, and I get that a cup of coffee is $1.25. And the last part is that if the coffee is $1.25, again, I substitute the $1.25 for the coffee, and the donut's 50 cents less. So $1.25 minus 50 is 75 cents. Okay? Any questions on that? Any questions at all? Okay. Listen, you guys are good students, you're strong students, and you're conscientious students. I have no doubt that if you apply yourself this weekend, put a good hour, hour and a half in studying for the test, watching the video to clarify anything that's a little bit bothersome. And then come back on Monday. We got another pre-test on Monday, and then the test on Tuesday. I think you'll do really well on the test. Hey, these questions like this are worth 15 points each, guys. You think they're important? Yeah, they're partial credit, but you got to know what to do. You got to take the first step. You got to write these things out, etc., etc. Okay? All right. Now, for the rest of the period, you can keep working on what I gave you before. How are the cheese curls? Rocking? Bauer put a scratch in my glasses. He reached up, I thought he wanted to give me a kiss, and you know what he did? Bit the glasses. They were hanging like this. So he reached up and he bit the glasses and tried to pull them off my neck.